Hello everyone. In light of the new Star Wars film that will be coming out in a little bit less than a month, this is my second Star Wars video. And hopefully you saw my last one. In my last video, I got a pack of Star Wars Episode VII, The Force Awakens playing card deck. And I just kind of went through every single card, and the ones that kind of required more attention, I elaborate a little bit more on those cards, trying to, shed some ideas about the new film. So I will basically be doing the same thing with these Star Wars Hot Wheels die-cast vehicles. These belong to my brother, and he has a good chunk of the set. He doesn't have them all, but I kind of want to not really show them off. I kind of want to express, my like for Star Wars and maybe what I don't like, and maybe some stuff about the new film. As the video progresses, I promise it'll get more interesting as we get into the newer vehicles and stuff. And some vehicles I'll just go through them real quick. So anyways, this is from the Rebels series, the cartoon series, which I haven't seen anything on, and I honestly didn't want to. I'm going to try to get caught up on it though, because I don't like what Disney did with the expanded universe. And it's just like, we only care about what we created, and we don't care about what anybody else created in the last 30 years. So forget that. And I just really dislike that approach. And, I'm noticing that a lot of stuff that they're doing, it doesn't look too bad, but it really doesn't seem like they have any original ideas. And a lot of people down the prequels, and at least they had new ideas. But anyways, I'll get to that. For example, this ship, I really do not like because it looks so much like this one. Just if the wings or the fins were cut off of it, that's all. So I'm not too fond of that one. Actually, I don't like it at all. And it's not just because it's from Rebels. It doesn't really have anything, that enlightens me or anything like that. And this one is also from Rebels. I'll get this one out of the way. This one, again, this looks like the Bongo ship that was given, that the Gungans gave to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar, of course, so that they could get to Naboo through the water, through the ocean. So they can travel faster, and I think you'll agree with me on this. This is where the tendrils or the tentacles would protrude from the back so that they could move in the water. And if you really look at it from the front, it really looks like the Bongo. Except the Bongo is, of course, more sleek, more curvesque. But this looks like the Bongo, if I'm pronouncing it right. Now, I'll put the Phantom. I'm sorry, I didn't even name these. This is the Phantom, of course, and this is a Ghost. And that way you can see the packaging. There's a... white letters, black on red, and orange letters, blue and orange. Which is kind of weird because if this is orange and this is orange, shouldn't, this be white and this be white, or this be red and, whatever. And another thing that I wanted to point out, that I can show you, but I thought that there was no order to the packaging, whatever vehicle and whatever type of packaging. And I kind of confirmed that. I was at the store the other day, and I saw the same X-Wing, one in this packaging and one in this packaging. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe some of you know. I'm pretty sure a lot of you own these. I'm just trying to give you some ideas, maybe some stuff that you might have not noticed, or especially if you don't own these. Maybe it's some ideas that you can get from previous films, and hopefully, more importantly, from the new film. So of course now I'm getting into the vehicles from the prequels that people just don't like because they were in the prequel, I imagine. This one I was not too fond of. This is a Vulture Droid. It's an unmanned vehicle, kind of, so I've just never liked it. And I do apologize. I wanted to kind of just show the back of just one of these. They all have the same basic thing. It shows that you have this little thing that you can put on your finger and pretend that it's flying around. And that can also be used to display it like on a shelf or something. That's the one for the orange card. This is the one for the black on red, of course. And these are the only ones that I'll kind of elaborate on the back of the packaging, because you can just get the idea, for the rest of them. Just, vehicle display and things like that. Okay, so this next vehicle I like very, very much, and I'm sure that a lot of you don't. And it's just a Abba Fighter. I liked it. It was different, from what we were used to seeing, the X-Wings. And here's Obi-Wan's Starfighter, Jedi Starfighter. Also different, from an X-Wing, which is very strange because the window to the cockpit has always resembled the TIE Fighter. and these flaps in the movies, they open up and they kind of have that fin like the TIE fighter, that wing. So to me, it was kind of showing that it was leading into that somehow. The technology was. This next film, this next vehicle, I'm sorry, I think I'm going to upset a lot of people because I've never liked it. I love Boba Fett, the whole idea about him, but this vehicle, it doesn't look menacing, it doesn't anything, it doesn't look scary, and it looks like it should fly like this, but it flies like this, you know, and it looks like an iron. I've just never liked the Slave One. The Y-Wing. Very nice. Like I said, some of these I'm not showing them off too much because we already know about them, you know. If there's something, you know, some idea that I've had in the past about it, you know, I'll point it out. Like this one, the Snowspeeder, very nice vehicle. Empire Strikes Back. I really like the Snowspeeder. The only thing is that you know, what a cosmic coincidence that it fired a tow cable. They were fighting the AT-ATs, and it just so happened that they had that one thing that would take down the AT-AT Walker. Yeah, I mean, it just, you know, that part I've never liked. It was an amazing scene, of course, but I just never liked how it just came together like that. Maybe it was the Force. One thing that I didn't point out on the Y-Wing, for some reason, out of all the ones, whether they're orange on blue or whatever, black on red, whatever, this is the only one that says 4+ for some reason. None of the other ones, whether it's, you know what I mean? And you never know. With collecting, you never know. I mean, this one might be worth a lot because it has the 4, or maybe all of them have a 4, and there's one out there that doesn't, you know, Y-Wing wise or whatever. So look at yours at home, and maybe you'll discover something. Or when you're at the store, if you don't want to buy these. I honestly think they make a nice collection. I would like to own them. These I'm not sure if I mentioned these are my brothers, but right now I don't have the money to collect it. To collect them, my brother said it perfectly. Once you're in, you're in. You buy one, you got to get the rest of them. There's just something about it. Now, this one I discovered something that I hadn't noticed. You know, watching the trailer or reading anything online, I just hadn't noticed it. And you know, I already saw, and a lot of people did. Of course, the dish was knocked off on the Millennium Falcon on the previous film, but of course now it's replaced. Where it used to be round, now it's like more kind of, well, rectangular and just kind of curved. And of course you can barely see it, but there it is. The toy itself has it. Alrighty, so that's the Millennium Falcon, obviously from the new movie. Alrighty. So here we have the TIE Fighter. Okay. We all know the TIE Fighter. Now, I'm going to put it side by side with this next one, which is obviously a new TIE Fighter from the new movie. Okay. Now this is where, again, I strongly disagree with the film. I don't know why, but I didn't hate the prequels. For every prequel movie, there was one that I liked the same for the old trilogy. So, you know, I'll try to go through it real quick. Like, I like Phantom Menace as much as I like Star Wars, A New Hope. I liked Attack of the Clones as much as I like Return of the Jedi. And, of course, let's get to the tragic ones. So, I love Empire Strikes Back as much as I like Revenge of the Sith. They kind of all had the same tone. You know what I mean? So, I'm not sure why people just hate the prequels, those that do. I love them all. But what I love the most about them is that they tried to give us something different, and this new film is not really giving us any different. A new paint job is not different. You know what I mean? And I understand that we all love the Millennium Falcon. You know, yes, I do want to see it. We love X-Wings. But, I mean, can we get something else besides that? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there isn't, but, I mean, most of it looks like it's going to be TIE Fighters and X-Wings again. You know what I mean? And it's just hard to believe that in a film series where the technology, you know, this fictional technology is highly more advanced than us, in 30 years, we've advanced more than they have. Because this new movie takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi. So TIE Fighters look like this, and 30 years later, they just painted them different. And that makes no sense to me. that makes no sense to me that they still have the same type of technology. I mean, at least the prequels, they tried to show you, you know, how the technology, you know, from episode 1 got that way to episode 4. And that was there's a gap of about 30 years. And here, there's no progression, and people are excited about that. How can you be excited about getting the same thing? You know, after so long, I understand that we love the Star Wars film, but you have to try to prevent something more new than this. But anyways, enough with the rant. I do apologize. But one thing that I do this is a positive, actually, because when I saw this, when my brother had these, I was like, wow, that's great. No wonder. I mean, because all you got to do is get this and just paint it black. And, you know, egg on my face, that's not what they did. That's honestly not what they did. These do have their slight differences. They're slight. But when it comes to transitioning to a film, I mean, come on. It's the same vehicle. But anyways, let's see. Look at this wing. Because if I try to put them next to one another, it's going to, the shade is, the shadow, it's going to block it out. But just look at that wing, okay? Look at that center piece right there. Okay, I know it looks a little bit fuzzy, but look at this one. I'm sure you'll be able to see this. It has like more detail around it. And that's part of the mold. I'll kind of put it like that. At each point of the hexagon, it kind of has like other little hexagons, and this one does not. See that? Alrighty. And also on the cockpit, okay, there's differences too, of course. You see how, you know, this one right here, it has an antenna, and then it has that part at the bottom. On my previous video, I said that I thought an image of a TIE fighter on a card was upside down, and I was wrong on that. It's not upside down. I think based on the trailer, that's like a gun at the bottom, and that's what helps it fire backwards. And then that little antenna. Now I'm going to bring in this next piece because it's not too, I mean, it's got its differences, but then we have this one. Okay, now if you notice, this one has a longer antenna. Okay, where on this one it bends in at the top. You can barely see it. Let's see here. Let me grab it with this hand. There you go. See how the antenna is not as high and it curves or it bends? And this one. And also look at the red trim on this one. Okay, now these are named differently. This one is a first order TIE fighter, so that's just like, I guess, a plain TIE fighter according to this new movie. And this is a first order special forces TIE fighter. Alrighty. And on the card itself, there's not much of a difference except for the antenna, where you can see here that these are like two thick ones, and this one is kind of like a tinier one, thinner one. Alrighty, so these are TIE fighters, and like I said, I don't see any progression really as far as the presentation of the film. I mean, I'm not trying to down it, you know, it's not even out yet, but I'm just pointing out some ideas. And once again with these, again, egg on my face. Here's an X-Wing, okay, and you can see that this one has like a little bit of yellow. And then here's this one, and this one doesn't have any yellow. And also look at the red, how this one has like more stripes in the back and this one doesn't. I'm kind of noticing that now, but when I saw these, honestly, I was like, great, that's just beautiful. Same vehicle, you just paint this, you know, yellow, and you paint this blah, whatever, and you just sell it again, and you call this one Red 5 and you call this one Red 3. I was wrong. I admit when I'm wrong, because if this one, the wings are open, and on this one they're closed. You can barely see that. The wings are open. On this one they're still apart, but the wings are closed. You see how the wings themselves, they shut together? Alrighty, and here's this one, and I thought the same thing, because it's not, you know, this is a Poe's X-Wing TIE fighter. What am I saying? X-Wing fighter. And I thought the same thing. When I saw them, I was like, wow, they just have to paint them different. Just like I did with the TIE fighter, they just have to paint them different. But, you know, I'm wrong. And especially with this one, I am very wrong with this one. The engines are very different, where these look like, I guess, half turbine, and these are like complete turbines, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, here's an interesting thing. I don't think you're going to be able to see it. But the the wings don't line up over one another. They don't overlap one another perfectly, the way they do on the original X-wings. And I'm gonna try to show it because I don't think you can really see it. I mean, because if I tilt it, it just looks that maybe it's like a tilt effect, but it's not. It really is that these close behind the ones on the bottom, and it's very hard to tell. So I'm really trying to show that off there. And one thing that I'm sure I'll be able to show on these, because these close behind these, the bottom ones, the cannon is longer. At least it looked longer. No, I'm sorry. The cannon is the same, but except I'm having such a hard time with this. Where on the bottom cannon, it's more positioned on the center, and on the top cannon, it's at the end. I'm not sure if you can see that. See, there it is. So the back of the cannon grabs onto the wing, and then on the bottom one, the center of the cannon grabs onto the wing. Okay, now the only negative thing about this is, you know, from what I'm guessing, I haven't done any research on this, but what I'm guessing, I mean, he's the leader of the X-Wings in this film. What a great way to make your leader stand out by painting them different than anybody else in the fleet. You know what I mean? Everybody go after this guy. You know what I mean? But okay, sorry for the rant again. Alrighty, so that's basically my little breakdown of these Star Wars diecast vehicles, and I hope you like them. You know, even though I said anything negative, if you think about it, some of the stuff has to do with the actual you know, vehicles themselves. You know, as far as how they've been portrayed in movies, comics, games, and things like that. Not the actual you know, the toy itself, if that's or a collectible. Because in reality, I would still like to get these for myself. These are my brother's, and I would like to get my own. And I want to thank him so much for giving me another topic to put out a video for you all. So I hope you appreciate it. Please keep watching. You know, I'm going to start commenting on you know, Batman, Superman, all that good stuff. You know, so just tune in. Thank you.